Hello, my name's Joel Arnold, the Planning and Advocacy Manager with Communities First, Inc. And with our partners at the League of Women Voters and Flint Beat, we share a purpose to engage, empower, and educate local voters. And we're happy to bring you a virtual community forum today to help you decide which candidate for Genesee County Commissioner in your district will get your vote. The Boards of Commissioners makes important decisions about how your tax dollars are spent, so knowing about your candidate is important. All candidates for these offices were contacted. Some candidates chose not to participate for a variety of reasons. We hope you will listen carefully to those who have and check vote411.org to see if there is a written response from other candidates. All were informed that they would need to comply with certain rules, such as refraining from comments on other persons and only taking this opportunity to tell voters about their own qualifications, priorities, and outlook. All candidates are asked the same questions, and all have the same time to answer. We look forward to an informative discussion today. And an opening, we'd like to provide each candidate 2 minutes for opening remarks. Mr. Wellington, we'll start with you.
Okay. All right. Well, first, thank you for the opportunity to appear and have this session. And I would like to introduce myself. I am a retired GM engineer of 44 years with the company, and retired just this year, in fact. And I was looking at the county commissioner as an opportunity to bring a voice to how the county is operating and represent my outlying districts of Grand Blanc, Atlas, and Goodrich in particular. I was interested in seeing seeing our counties represented well and being a bridge with them. This county commissioner provides an opportunity to have a say in how these operations with the county are run and how they how my districts will be represented in them. So looking forward to this chance to do that, and I think that's it.
All right. Commissioner Avery, same question.
Hello, and thank you all again, as said, for this opportunity. I am James Avery. I've been a resident of Grand Blanc for 49 years. I previously served 13 years with school board experiences with the Grand Blanc Community Schools and also the GISD School District. And that's where I found my proving grounds of whether I wanted to be a public servant or not, because I found that to be the most thankless job in the world. But I did survive, and it brought me to the attention of other opportunities if they were to present themselves. And so in 2020, 21, there was an opening at the Genesee County Board of Commissioners, and I was approached by a few of my constituents about pursuing, and I did. And I was blessed to have been appointed to the commission, and then followed by a year later with being elected as the 5th District County Commissioner for Grand Blanc, Goodrich, and Atlas Township. I love my community. I've been here for quite a while. I attended Grand Blanc schools. I'm blessed to be a distinguished alumni of Grand Blanc High School. My kids all went to Grand Blanc schools. And I love what I do. I love to resolve issues, love to bring concerns of those who may not have a voice. And again, I'm looking forward to this opportunity to share those thoughts with everyone. So thank you.
All right, so as we get into our questions, we'll go back and forth with who answers first. So this time, Commissioner Avery, we'll start with you. Describe your qualifications and experience for this office and explain your reasons for running. How would you be an asset?
I hate to rehash what I just stated, but I will say that I found my passion for public service through my run as a school board member, president for 5 years, and I was internally chosen by my co-electees. I found my passion to be helping others. God has really been good to me as far as positioning me to help others, and this opportunity that I saw
Sorry, we're getting a little bit of feedback there from somebody. If you can mute if you're not speaking, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, it gave me an opportunity to look at public service as another part of my arsenal. I'm executive director of a 501c3 currently, but my real passion is for youth. I love developing the ideas, the thoughts, and abilities of youth. And so I found this pathway of being able to share out what does it mean to have good governance? What does it mean to be civil in those manners? And so this is, again, I feel that I'm qualified because of my experience in those lanes and also with relationships. I believe relationships are very keen when you're dealing with governance. Not that you have to have someone as a shoe-in for decisions, but you should have an avenue of being able to connect with someone without having a first, second, or third person approach. And so those are the developments that I've acquired while being in these offices. And I look forward to continuing to bring that to my community to be the spoken voice for my 5th District constituents.
Mr. Wellington, same question. Describe your qualifications and experience for this office and explain your reasons for running. How would you be an asset?
Okay. Well, as I said, I've had a long career with General Motors and working with suppliers. A good chunk of my time there was spent in the architectural activity, bringing together what they call a compartment integration team. Maybe a couple hundred engineers on my distribution list, and we having weekly meetings trying to bring together competing factions to work out a compromise that would get us the best product for the customers. So I worked extensively with the various groups to make sure that we could balance the needs and balance the requirements. Not everybody got what they wanted exactly, but we ultimately, came out with the best overall product, and that's what we were. That was the objective. And likewise, I see the county commissioner job as a place where, again, I'd be working with various interests and particularly representing my aforementioned communities on the board for the county. But again, we have to work out what's best for all the districts and all the communities of the county. And using my background to bring together those competing interests and making sure they're represented is one of my strengths, and that's what I wanted to do with that. So that was a chance to serve in my community, and I see it as a good opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This question goes to Mr. Wellington first. Many residents don't understand county government. How would you explain the county's primary responsibilities and services? What will be your strategy for effectively communicating with constituents?
Well, we have our meetings, which I believe are televised to YouTube as well, so people have an opportunity to catch what goes on online. One of the strategies I was looking at was talking with the various township boards and communities about their interests, their concerns with the county, and bringing those forward to the commissioner meetings. I know I talked to the Atlas clerk, and I know she said that we haven't had any interface with the county before, and so I plan on extending that to talk to other officials in Atlas and Goodrich and Grand Blanc to maybe get in on some of their town board meetings as well and see more of what it is that's driving them. And then, like I say, carrying that forward to the meetings. So I had thought that I would directly interface in some cases with those meetings, with their activities and interests. And so that was one avenue, working with the municipalities themselves and their officials. Obviously, I have my website and other places where people can refer interests or refer concerns to me, and would look at those as well as other inputs to hear back from the community and represent them.
Thank you. Mr. Avery, many residents don't understand county government. How would you explain the county's primary responsibilities and services? What would be your strategy for effectively communicating with constituents?
You're currently muted, Mr. Avery.
Okay. So yes, the primary interest of the county commission is, of course, safeguarding the taxpayer dollars for our county. We are stewards of federal and state allocations that come into our community, and the job of our district representatives are respectively for their municipalities and their areas to make sure those dollars are, as well as possible, evenly distributed, distributed in facets where there's the most need. And so there's a charge for the commission to be a safeguarding and being frugal with dollars that come into our county. Also, we just have the ARPA funds. So I explained about the difference between ARPA funding and funding that normally comes in along with assessed tax dollars that come into the county. And so I think it's very pertinent to make sure that you understand the county government, the whole realm, so that when asked, there's an absolute accuracy as far as, you know, sharing with my constituents what happens to their dollars, and also to the point making, have to have an ear for all constituents. I have probably roughly 10 to 15 phone calls a day that I answer, and it's pretty ironic that the biggest area of my district is Grand Blanc, but my most calls are from Atlas Township, and so that gives me an opportunity to have those conversations with my residents there. I also have communications not only with Dallas, but also Grand Blanc Township leadership. And so my biggest thing is making sure that I handle concerns and issues and resolve matters, and also use as a convener. I've convened in many situations with the Atlas Township, with the Kearsley water system. And so, again, it just makes sure that you have the overall view and words of mouth from all constituents to be conveyed to the commission. And that's what I do.
Thank you.
All right. So commissioners are elected from separate districts, but are responsible for decisions that affect the entire county. In what ways do priorities of your district's constituents differ with countywide issues, and in what ways do they overlap? And when those priorities differ, what's your process for making decisions? And so, Mr. Avery, we'll start with you.
So when I first started, I thought my primary job were roads. All I was asked about is a pothole here, pothole there. And so that can be individualized per area. We have a lot of subdivisions in our district. And so getting with those subdivision leads and heads and their boards and bringing their awarenesses to the board is one of my charges. Overlapping, of course, could be when, you know, we're discovering recycle units, and we're discovering water passages. And so you have instances where you're representing the county as a whole. But of course, my primary is listening to my constituents who voted me to be in this seat, and then carrying that into the county with my other co-electees and discussing matters and finding priority of those matters. And that's how I process. I regard myself as a resolver. Because of my relationships from the federal, state, and local entities, I'm able to reach out to individuals to maybe assist with matters that may fall outside the realm of the county government. And so that's kind of how I strategize. I hear the problem, I analyze the problem, and then I help to resolve the issue if possible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Mr. Wellington, same question. Commissioners are elected from separate districts, but are also responsible for decisions that affect the entire county. In what ways do priorities of your district's constituents differ with countywide issues? In what ways do they overlap? And when priorities differ, what's your process for making decisions?
Okay, well, I haven't had a specific example I can cite of where there's been overlaps or conflicts, but I think my first priority is to my districts and what they're expecting first. So that is my first priority. However, I would communicate and talk about what conflicts there are and make sure everybody is together on the conflict and why decisions maybe need to be steered certain ways in the best interests of all parties and the best compromise for all parties. So I'm thinking in those terms that we come together and do what's best overall. I guess from a county standpoint first, and then balancing the respective outlying interests. So for example, I know there's an effort to consolidate the district courts from the outlying municipalities all into Flint, and there's not the outlying counties. I know generally have not been too amenable to the idea, even though it might save some money. In one sense, for the county, the intent was to try to the general municipal interests are to keep them local, and so that is one, for example, that I would favor, even if it does cost a little more, to keep it local.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Continuing with Mr. Wellington, does the county board have a responsibility to develop relationships with other public entities, such as local cities, universities, libraries, and schools? In what way does that currently happen? And do you think there are better ways to develop those relationships?
Well, I think they should have those relationships. The counties or those entities you described very much have interests with the counties and the county's spending. For example, last couple of years I've been volunteering at the animal shelter and work for dog walking every week, getting the animals out of the cages, and so I get a chance firsthand to see that county operation, and we need to fund and work with those, and likewise, universities and libraries and other things all have functions that are county funded, and we do need to take their needs into account as we go. Opening up communications further will be something we'll look at as I get into the job, and for opportunities to interface. It may be too that some of that will happen through the subcommittees, and plugging some of those interests in with the subcommittee groups that work with the county commission.
Thank you. Mr. Avery, same question. Does the county board have a responsibility to develop relationships with other public entities, such as local cities, universities, libraries, and schools? In what ways does that currently happen? And do you think there are better ways to develop those relationships?
Thank you again. So yeah, as I stated before, relationships are very keen. I am a believer in government, business, and education being a same setting. Too many years, too many decades have gone by where each have been siloed for the economic development for the immediate area. And so the way it's happening with me and my constituents is that we include our universities when we're talking about developments of jobs, also with the talent to match those jobs. So the economic development and the talent and the retention is a big piece of what I feel is the need for having those relationships intact so that each entity will be able to assist where necessary. Again, as I stated before, I'm an advocate for youth, not only just our adolescents, but also our young adults. I need them in a position to take care of someone old like myself someday. You know, I want them to be in a good position financially. And again, just being able to have the opportunity to retain that talent here in Genesee County. And so they do work together. They need to work together. And I believe that I'm doing that currently, along with my other co-electees. But it's vital for our economic development for Genesee County for those to be in play.
Thank you. In closing, is there anything else you would like voters of your district to know about your candidacy? Starting with you, Mr. Avery.
So again, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy public service. I told someone when I ran for school board 13 years ago, if I had gotten defeated, well, I probably wouldn't have ran for another office, but I would have continued to volunteer. And so I love to serve the community that helped groom me. Again, I've been a resident of Grand Blanc for 49 years, and I've seen it from its semi-farmland layout to now more of an economic drive. I'm proud to be a Grand Blancer because I've seen the development. I've seen it from not only from that aspect, but also for the diversity. I've seen opportunities arise here within this area that I didn't see nearly 50 years ago. And so I know we're on the right track. I work well with our municipality leads, with their constituents. And again, I just want the opportunity to continue to bring that to the table and utilize the tools that I've been blessed to have and look to learn more as I'm in this position. So thank you.
Mr. Wellington?
Sorry, my mic was muted. Can you repeat that real quick, the question again?
In closing, is there anything else you would like voters of your district to know about your candidacy?
Just that I think I have a lot of good background experiences that lead up to this. I know my mom ran for school board a couple times where I grew up, and in fact, I grew up on a 300-acre farm, and so I have a particular warm spot towards the rural areas and rural interests and farming, and but I also see that Flint is an area that or Genesee County anyway is an area that I think has a lot of good potential for economic growth. We have 3 highways that come through here, US 23, 75, and 69. Definitely it could be an ideal place for shipping and shipping and shipping logistics to operate from. So hoping to, we'll have ways to attract businesses to this area in that respect and develop it further. So I do see those as potential opportunities as well. But the logistics and the infrastructure are here are ripe for some good development. And as long as it's responsible and good development, we can hopefully leverage that and bring it into our area here. So those are all things that are a priority to me. And like I said, I had a lot of years in the automotive business and care a lot for the business development, as well as community safety issues and priorities as well, and infrastructure for all of that. So highly supportive of law enforcement and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. As a reminder, Election Day is November 5th, 2024. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can also vote by absentee ballot currently, or you can vote early in person for at least 9 days before Election Day. If you'd like to know more about your voting options, head to michigan.gov/vote. Exercise your right to vote and be part of your community.